Hey everybody, Kris Amerikos here, and in this video, I'm going to give you a hand, or maybe even two. Today's video is all about idioms and phrases that use the word hand. So, of course, you know the first meaning of this word, which is a part of the body, but it can also be a verb, to hand something to someone. And I could say, hand me that book. It means give me that book, right? So to hand something means to give using your hand. But there are a lot of interesting phrases that use the word hand to mean something different. For example, what does it mean if you experience something firsthand? Or if we say that you have firsthand experience, what does that mean? Well, it means that you did something yourself, with your own hands. You had this experience yourself. It's not a story that you heard from someone else. It's about you and the thing that you did yourself. The next phrase is, my hands are tied. And if someone ties your hands, then you can't move your hands, right? You're stuck and you've been immobilized. So if someone says that their hands are tied, it means that they can't do anything. They can't help. They can't do anything because they're stuck, right? So, for example, I have to work at 5 p.m. Oh, but Kris, I need your help at 5 p.m. Exactly 5 p.m. My hands are tied. I have to work. I can't do anything. I can't change this, right? I'm stuck. We also have the phrase at hand, which doesn't really make sense at all, but it's an adjective. And it means something that's happening now or something that we're talking about now. So I could say, we need to solve the problem at hand before we try to solve another problem. This means we need to solve the problem that we're looking at now. We need to solve the first problem, the problem that we are on right now, before we move to the next one. We could also say that somebody has a hand in something. It's a long phrase, and what this means is that the person was connected. The person influenced this, or maybe the person caused this situation to happen. So they have some kind of role in this situation. We might say Mike's aunt, the vice president of the company, had a hand in Mike getting the job. So this means that she was connected and she helped this happen. Another phrase that we can use is to try your hand at something. And believe it or not, at one point in my life, I thought, you know what, maybe I should try something different other than teaching English. Can you believe that? I can't believe it. But I tried something different one time. I tried my hand at real estate. And I worked in real estate, buying and selling houses. And I tried my hand at it, but it wasn't for me. So that's why I'm back to being an English teacher, where I should be. Another phrase that we can use is to wash your hands of something. This means that you want to get rid of it and you want to not be connected to it anymore. So we might say something like, the boss washed his hands of the situation and told us to figure it out ourselves. This means he didn't want to be connected to this anymore and he was finished with that situation. All right, the next phrase is very popular. In fact, maybe you've heard it before because a lot of English speakers use this phrase. And it's a special idiom, a special type of phrase that only has a special meaning when these words are together. And this phrase is to know something like the back of your hand. To know something like the back of your hand. I guess this means that you know what the back of your hand looks like very well. You know it very, very well. So if you know something like the back of your hand, it means that you know it well. For example, we could say, I know this city like the back of my hand. It means I know everything about this city. But probably the most popular phrase is to give someone a hand. And to give someone a hand means to help someone, to give them some assistance, to give them help. And we might say, Mike gave me a hand when I moved to a new house, right? He helped me. And if you see that your friend needs help, you might say, can I give you a hand? This means, can I help somehow? Or do you need a hand with that? Do you need help with that? Another phrase that we might use is to get out of hand. And if something gets out of hand, it means that we don't have control. We lose control. So we might say, the party started very fun, but it quickly got out of hand. It became crazy. It became uncontrolled. Okay, the next one is to be handy with something. And to be handy with something, it means to be very good at using something or to know something well. Because when we say that something is handy, or when we say a person is handy, it means that they're very useful. So if you say, this machine is very handy, it means that this machine helps you do something and makes it easier for you. And a person who's handy is very useful and helpful in the same way. We might say, John's dad is very handy with cars. It means he knows a lot about them and he can be helpful and useful with cars. One of my favorite phrases with the word hand is when we say to be in good hands. We might say, we found a cat and we didn't find the cat's owner, but we've decided to help this cat, and now the cat is in good hands, right? The cat is with good people. This is what it means when we say to be in good hands. Which is funny because the next phrase is to be a handful, and this means something negative. This means that it's very difficult to be with the person or to do some activity. If we say, John is a handful, it means that he needs a lot of attention and it's very difficult for you to interact with him and to give him what he needs. We use this a lot when we talk about small children who need a lot of attention from parents. We can say, that Susie sure is a handful. All right, the next phrase is hands down. Now, this is the opposite of what the police might tell you if you are a criminal. They'll say, hands up, right? And then hands down means that you put your hands down, right? Well, it has a special meaning too. Because we could say, this is the best YouTube lesson I've ever seen, hands down. It means like there's no question about it. There's no doubt. This is clearly the answer. This is clearly the best. And I'm sure you'll agree, right? This is the best YouTube video, hands down. Okay, the next one is a handout. And a handout is something that you give to other people with your hands. Now, usually you give it to many, many people. We use this in two situations that I can think of. For example, in school, the teacher might give you some papers that help you understand something more. So they talked about some kind of subject, you sat through the lecture, and then they gave you a piece of paper that shows you some more details about this, right? This is a handout from the teacher. The teacher hands it to every student. The teacher gives it to every student. But we can also use the word handout about people who are out on the street giving you a piece of paper, right? It's a kind of advertising and marketing. People stand on the street and hand you a piece of paper, and these things are called handouts. In general, anything that a person gives to everybody for free, we can call a handout. And a handout can also have another meaning. It can mean something that we got for free and we didn't need to work for it. And it can be negative in this way. We might say, Johnny has never had a job. He only lives off of handouts. And that brings us to our last example today, which is a hand-me-down. Johnny, who doesn't have a job and takes handouts, he probably has some hand-me-downs too. Hand-me-downs are usually about clothes, but they could be about other things. And a hand-me-down is something that you get from another person. It's second hand. Maybe you know that phrase too. Something that has already been used by another person. Now, we usually say hand me down when we're talking about somebody in our family or someone from an older generation or someone who's older than us who used it and then passed it on to us. So it was very easy for us to get it and use it, and we didn't have to buy something else. But at the same time, we understand that this means it's old and it's probably not the best quality. So as you can see from this video, there are a lot of different meanings of the word hand in different phrases. I hope you found this video helpful and useful, and some of these phrases will come in handy for you sometime soon. If you like this video, make sure you press like, press subscribe, leave a comment down below. And also, go over to my website, krisamerikos.com, and join my English Everyday Speaking program, where we have 25 live lessons every day with native speakers and professional teachers from around the world, and thousands of students from different countries around the world who you can practice speaking English with all day, every day. It's really the best program in the world. So I hope to see you at the next lesson. Have a great day. Bye-bye.